Hello there, I'm Lloyd Evans and you're watching the John Cedars channel from the bunker, and in this video we absolutely must talk about the Always Rejoice 2020 convention of Jehovah's Witnesses, which is soon to be upon us. We're expecting the videos to start dropping on JW Broadcasting in July and August. If I get hold of them any quicker, I will of course try to drop my rebuttals on this channel much sooner than that. But in any case, we do have at least two videos that we can watch. One is a promotional video for the entire convention, and one is a trailer just for the drama, which is about the story of Nehemiah. So I thought, what the heck? Let's look at both of these videos. Let's roll the first clip.
Everyone wants to be happy, but we all face problems that are hard to deal with. So, can you ever really be happy? At the 2020 Convention of Jehovah's Witnesses, you will learn how to find joy even when life is hard, and how God has made it possible for us to be happy now and forever. Happiness might seem hard to find, but it isn't. Come and see for yourself.
So yes, the Always Rejoice convention, which of course now will again be held online with the use of videos rather than being something that people can physically go to, because the physical conventions have been cancelled due to COVID-19. What to say about that video? I think it's interesting that they had it narrated by a female narrator. They did something similar with a recent year's convention where again it was narrated by a woman, and for me it's a bit disingenuous, because straight away, if you have no experience whatsoever with Jehovah's Witnesses, which, let's face it, that's the demographic these videos are aimed at, you're immediately thinking, oh well, this is a progressive, forward-moving organisation where women are front centre, where women are heavily involved, even to the point where here there's a woman who's narrating the promotional video I'm watching. That's very dishonest, in my opinion, or at least it's intentionally manipulating the viewer into forming an opinion that simply doesn't square with reality. When you go to these conventions, or if you were able to go to these conventions, not once would you see a woman get on the platform unless it was to give some kind of demonstration or relate some kind of experience at the direction of a male speaker. So that's the reality of what would have happened at these conventions, and that's the reality that we will see when the videos are finally released. I also obviously can't help but notice the irony when they're talking about happiness. This is not an organisation, this is not a religion that has a positive impact on people's mental health. And whenever they touch on mental health, whenever they touch on depression and anxiety and ways to combat those things, which itself indicates that not everyone in the religion is happy, by the way, but whenever they touch on mental health in their material for believers, they almost always get it wrong. And they almost always focus their advice not on receiving professional help in order to lose the despair and find joy and happiness. Their advice hinges instead on how can you serve the organisation more? How can you busy yourself more in Jehovah's service? That's what the organisation is all about. It's not about inner bliss. It's not about personal contentment or happiness or joy. It's about serving Jehovah, which means serving the organization. And I couldn't help but recoil at the opening words where the narrator says, we all face problems that are hard to deal with. So can you ever really be happy? And I was thinking, well, what's the Jehovah's Witness solution for problems that are hard to deal with? Because what the narrator is actually doing is drawing attention to the fact that there are no quick fixes for many of life's problems. Some problems are complicated. They are difficult. But the solution that the Jehovah's Witness religion offers is totally simplistic and boils down to, let's destroy wicked people. And when we say wicked people, what we mean is everyone who isn't or is unlikely to become one of Jehovah's Witnesses. That's the solution that ultimately you come to embrace when you go down the rabbit hole with this organization, when you open yourself up to the indoctrination. They don't pitch it to you necessarily in those terms. They don't say, we all face problems that will be remedied by all non-Jehovah's Witnesses dying, because almost certainly everyone would run a mile if witnesses were that honest in their initial introduction. So they have to be dishonest, they have to be disingenuous when they're roping people into their events and into their conventions, and that is obvious in this year's promotional video. But we will move on to our second video, which is a trailer for the Nehemiah drama.
Far from Israel lived a Jew, whom the king of Persia trusted with his life. He believed his people were carrying on pure worship in Jerusalem. Until one day,
the walls of Jerusalem are broken down, and its gates have been burned with fire. Most of the people ignore God's law.
rebuilding the walls was only the beginning.
We have many powerful enemies.
I recommend you turn the accusation of sedition against Nehemiah.
Nehemiah is far away in Shushan. Who is going to tell him?
This is my province. Out here, I decide what to do.
I have a right to live where I choose, and so do you.
They would need help to face what was about to come next.
Every man must find his own joy, and I intend to find mine.
Why should you complain when everyone else approves?
If we let mere threats frighten us into stopping, they will have achieved their goal.
Are you gonna wait until they start killing us?
We're powerless to stop this.
Do remember me favorably, oh my God.
Is it me, or are those three notes a little bit of a rip-off of the Star Wars films? For me, anyway, that's how it comes across. But wow, we have there the Nehemiah drama. Nehemiah, the joy of Jehovah is your stronghold. And once again, Watchtower is turning to its filmmaking resources, its Mount Ebo complex, its army of volunteers and film sets and props and CGI artists and that kind of thing to recreate stories from the Bible. And without having seen the drama, already I can see that it's suffering from the same problem that a lot of these Bible dramas suffer from, namely that you're dealing with stories that are fairly unremarkable. The story here is Nehemiah is a servant of Artaxerxes. Nehemiah learns from his brother that the walls of Jerusalem are broken and people are no longer serving Jehovah. He asks for permission to return to Jerusalem and initially is refused permission. Eventually, he's not only given permission, but he is appointed governor of Jerusalem and arranges for the walls to be rebuilt, albeit with some difficulties from surrounding enemies mounting campaigns against the workforce. But is that really, is that a script that Hollywood production companies and directors and actors would be falling over themselves to be involved with? No. It's not a story that's worthy, frankly, of the very dramatic music, the epic music that you hear while that trailer is unfolding. So I can only imagine, especially when you throw in the fake beards and the terrible acting and the poorly thought out dialogue, I can only imagine it's going to be another awkward piece of viewing, but I will obviously try to be as open-minded as possible when I do watch it, and I will report back in my rebuttal whenever that is. But that is pretty much everything I have to share with you. Again, as soon as I have more from the convention, I'm kind of hoping that the videos get leaked early so I can put out some early rebuttals, but if not, I'm happy to wait until July or August, and we'll see what we're dealing with. But until then, I hope you're all able to continue to rejoice, to always rejoice. Don't forget to subscribe to the John Cedars channel for more such videos, and as always, thank you for watching.